The season starts today and runs throughout October 30th, and after all this is finished, the corn that you see right here will actually go to feed cattle and help put food on your table. State legislators are gearing up for a battle over the possible privatization of the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. Those for the legislation say that it would save the state nearly $7 million a year, but students are concerned that their out-of-pocket tuition would skyrocket. You probably can't tell now by how quiet it is here on Norton Lick Road, but this afternoon this was the scene of an officer-involved shooting.
Here with the Millennial New Beat, Patrice is on the spotlight on the war on drugs.
President Ronald Reagan declared America's war on drugs in the 1980s. The executive order signed by President Reagan allowed for the White House to have more control over the national anti-drug efforts.
You know, I'm glad you're concerned about the ambulance authority now. I wish you'd have been concerned a few months ago when they asked for money to buy 2 new ambulances that you chose not to vote on.
Tensions ran high Wednesday night at the McDowell County Commission meeting in Welch. The main focus, the future of the McDowell County Ambulance Authority. Early Monday morning, staff were told that the company may be closing its doors soon.
Now, let me point this out and make this clear too. We're not going to shut down. Okay, we may have to idle for a while, but we're not going to shut down.
Because of the mounting financial problems, the company can no longer afford to pay employees, and that's just where the Ambulance Authority's problems began. The company is significantly behind on all of their bills.
Our payroll is $25,137.39. We have available $27,571. That excludes the past due bills that equal $21,952.43.
Members of the authority board demanded an official investigation into the past leadership. Recently, new administrators were appointed to the authority after allegations of mishandling funds and fraudulent checks came to the attention of the board. Members of the commission recognized that McDowell County cannot afford to lose any more jobs in their already struggling economy. The president of the McDowell County Commission says that the authority will be idled until a thorough investigation is done and they can find the funds to continue operations.
Don't anybody think that we're just throw our hands up and say, "Huh, shut down." No. You know, we can't lose anything in this county, and we fight for everything to keep everything. We can't lose any more of anything.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death among millennials. More teenagers and young adults die from suicide than from cancer, heart disease, AIDS, birth defects, stroke, pneumonia, the flu, and lung disease combined. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is determined to walk away from those statistics. It can be tough for friends and family to cope after a loved one commits suicide. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has a dedicated purpose to help those left behind.
We raise money for suicide prevention research, but really the main point is just to let people know that they can connect with other people who are going through the same things.
The Out of the Darkness Walk is an annual event sponsored by the AFSP to bring together those affected by suicide within the community. The walk consisted of teams marching and raising money in the name of their loved ones lost.
It's incredible. People get a lot out of these events just from being with one another and learning that they're not the only ones who have been affected by suicide. Our walk has grown from about 30 people to close to 300.
Participants wore honor beads, different colors representing the different relationships and their connection to suicide. Ashley Rebuck wore red beads in remembrance of her sister, Jessie.
Well, it's very emotional. It's a very emotional time for me, but I also makes me feel really good, like I'm really honoring her name and hopefully making a difference in someone else's life and another family's life, so they don't have to go through the same, hurt and pain that we go through.
Event organizers say that the main goal of the walk is to educate the community about suicide prevention and mental health.
To learn a little bit, because there's not a lot of education about mental health, and we want to make talking about it a more common occurrence.
The walk only lasted for about 3 miles, but those who battled with mental illness will never be forgotten. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, or if you're dealing with a loss due to suicide, you can contact the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention at the website listed below. I'll also have a link on my story online.